Hello, true believers. This is Doc Hogg, and welcome to episode 107 of Comics and Variety. If you like this channel, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified when we post new videos, and for the sake of YouTube's search algorithm, please do hit the like button. Alrighty, this is the first video I've made other than a live stream since the campaign for my comic book Tilt launched, and the campaign is going pretty well. Let me just tell you here what is available. You can buy just a PDF copy. That's only $4. Or you can buy an actual physical copy of the comic book, and you have a choice of either the standard cover or the variant cover. A single copy is only $13. Or you can get both. Two comics, one with a standard cover, one with a variant. That option is $20, and all of the actual physical copy options include the PDF copy. Then there are the two add-ons. One is this wonderful pinup by Lenore King, and the other is a deck of cards, a 54-card poker deck. And this is what will be on the back of the cards. This image was designed by my illustrator, Marcos Lima, colored by Lenore King, with graphics by Emma Longfellow. The higher up the tiers you go, the cheaper the add-ons are. There are some higher tiers as well. I'll talk about those in my next video, and the link to Tilt is in the description below. Click on over and back it today. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about Marvel's Star and DC's Batman, Superman, and Levithan Dawn. Why those three? Well, they have something in common. Actually, they have more than one thing. For starters, the plots are all pretty good. Star issue 2 is a good follow-on to issue 1. Star has the Reality Stone embedded in her, and someone is hunting her for it. And it turns out that it's the Black Order, which is how issue 2 ends. That's a pretty good cliffhanger. Leviathan Dawn is the sequel to the Event Leviathan series. I didn't care for the last 3 issues of Event Leviathan. The art seemed to just get worse and worse, and the last 3 issues had almost no action. Now, Leviathan Dawn doesn't have a lot of action either. It has some, but the thing is, the plot is developing here in a way that down the road, this series could have potentially could have a lot of action, and this issue, may just be building up to it. In this issue, a team of superheroes is forming to stop Leviathan, and presumably the superheroes can't do that without some battles down the road. And then finally, the best plot of these three may be Batman Superman issue 7. Now, I loved issues 1 through 6 of this series, and the plot of issue 7 has tons of promise. In a nutshell, Batman, Superman, and Ra's al Ghul are trying to stop General Zod from raising all of the dead people who were the residents of the Kryptonian city of Kandor. It is written by Joshua Williamson. I always recommend that you get comics written by him because he's just on fire here. Well, almost always. I'm kind of making an exception here because of this. That cover is just awful in so many ways. First, if this is supposed to be menacing, then the color of this is just wrong. The colors of the Kandor building, they're almost pastel, and they are soft, relaxing colors. That does not convey menacing. Is Superman pounding on the glass or holding up his fists to cheer? If he's doing the former, then let's have a few movement lines. Seriously, his pose combined with the look on his face, take away the rest of the cover, Superman could be rooting at a football game. Batman, is he pressing on the glass or getting ready to do a dance move? His arm should be a bit more out in front of him, and he needs to be straining. There needs to be more detail on his face. It should be clear that he is really gritting his teeth. And the shape of the buildings in Kandor suggests that what the artist is trying to convey is that Superman and Batman are pawns in the chess game of Zod and Ra's al Ghul. But it doesn't work because it's just the art is so bad. Compare that to the cover for Leviathan Dawn. The color is dark and gloomy. The chess pieces are large statues that are cracked and falling apart. That's much better. It suggests something, foreboding. Alex Maleev did this cover, this Leviathan cover, and it is a bit hard to believe that because he also did the inside art, which is just terrible. You open this book, and this is one of the first panels you see. Wonder Woman dodging arrows. Boy, isn't that dynamic? And there are more than a few pages with this sort of quote-unquote action. You know, this Green Arrow panel here almost looks two-dimensional. There's just way too much of that in this book. And one thing in particular that I've talked about before that just drives me nuts is when artists draw fingers in a square shape. It's just awful when they do that because the fingers don't look three-dimensional. You know, we saw that in Event Leviathan, and now we're seeing it here. And it's so important to make things three-dimensional in comic books because comics obviously are a two-dimensional medium. When you do things, you know, like this that look two-dimensional, it's just utter garbage. You know, I mean, is there anything out there in comics that is worse? Now, moving back to Batman's Superman, you have some of those same square fingers here, you know, just lovely. And with this book, I can believe that Nick Darrington did this cover because he does the rest of this art as well, and God, it's horrible. For example, this is part of the double splash page here. Now, if Batman is coming in for a landing, shouldn't his cape have a billowing effect, you know, catching a lot of air, maybe puffed up behind him above his shoulders a bit? Well, yes, you can do that even when he's standing still. You know, for God's sake, do it when he's using the cape as a parachute. I've talked in a previous video about whether bad art can ruin a comic book even if the story is very good. And the story here is very good and will probably remain so since Joshua Williamson is the writer. But I don't know if I want to continue with issue 8. I mean, I'll probably buy it because I'm kind of a sucker. But the art is just, you know, so bad. I mean, thank God Batman wears a mask so we can't see his full facial expression like we do with Superman. This last one in particular, does Superman have chaw in his mouth? I half expect the next panel to have a spittoon in it. And then look at the temple they go in here. See all the nice detail in it? Me neither. And then there is the panel where Superman fires his heat vision at Ra's al Ghul. Could there be anything in comics that is worse? Finally, let's look at Star. Now, the art here isn't bad. It maybe needs some more detail. You know, this here isn't terrible. However, it is a little bland. The female superheroes do have non-approved body type. Good. But the problem is with what can be named the 2D cave critters. Yes, these very non-threatening creatures that have heads that are a ripoff of Alien and have legs like a paintbrush streak. So 3D superheroes battling 2D cave critters, you know. Give them more depth and more detail. You know, make them look more like the creatures from Cloverfield. You know, not only do those look pretty scary, when you get bit by them, this happens.
I don't feel so good.
Bart! We've got him!
Now that's cool. This is not cool. This is an editor saying you need to work harder, and the artist saying, work harder? That's white cis male aggression. I feel threatened. You know, I mean, these 2D cave critters, it's terrible art in a comic book that overall doesn't have bad art, but there's bad art in it. And it's not a surprise because there seems to be so much bad art all around in mainstream comics right now. And, you know, that's all for now with this video. Have a very nice day. I'm ending it before I burst a blood vessel.